Okay, you guys, here it is. Here is the Tarot Spills the Tea on Margaret Josephs. Now, per usual, let's go ahead and introduce Margaret Joseph to anyone who doesn't know who Margaret Joseph is. She is a housewife on Real Housewives of New Jersey. I forget which season she came in. She's not an original. I used to be a fan of hers a while back until she got into it with Jennifer. And it's not even that I am such a big, huge Jennifer fan. It's not that. What it is it seems like Margaret is unable to accept the fact that Jennifer will give it back to her. Okay. And nowadays, she being Margaret, does things that for me kind of is similar to being a bully. And I do not like bullies and do not have the patience for them. And I know that's a strong word and possibly a trigger word. Um, but it just is what it is. And what it is Margaret is looking a little more like a bully to me nowadays, and I don't like that at all. Her bone collecting has become extremely aggressive, and she does too many lies for my liking. All right. So, and when I say lies, I'm not talking about directly lying and saying that there's a video and there's not a video. And those of you who watch New Jersey Housewives, you know what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about when I say lies is looking Teresa in her face and saying that she doesn't talk about her behind her back. In every single episode so far this season, and there's been 6, she talks about Teresa behind her back. She also talks about Jennifer behind her back, which she had been talking about Jennifer since last season behind her back. She just became obsessed with talking about Jennifer. I remember one time she got upset because, and this was last season, she had gotten upset because Jennifer had posted on Instagram that she was looking for a new housekeeper or nanny or something like that. And that's all she could talk about for like 2.5 episodes. And I'm like, what is your problem? What is your storyline? Please move on. I don't know what's going on. The lady can look for nannies and housekeepers all she want to. Why is that any business of yours? Okay, so that is when Margaret started to lose me because that was ridiculous. And I see this season she's still on it. She's like a dog with a bone. She's a dog with a bone, like Dolores said. Okay, and I surprisingly learned that they were very, very close. Okay, very, very close. I started looking into that. Um, in that episode where Margaret says that they are very, very close. I'm like, since when? So we'll get into all of that, of course, and let's go ahead and start now. Okay, so as usual and always, I will have some type of, summary of the person that I'm talking about, whether I like them or not. You know what, you guys? Do you know what? This is a record for the person who I am doing a reading on, who I most dislike. That's right, who I most dislike. Now, here's the crazy thing about it is that when she first came on the scene with them pigtails, I actually liked her. And then when Jennifer began to get into her craw, I think they call it the craw in their claw or whatever. I don't know. I may be saying it wrong. Who cares? When Jennifer began to bug her, she lost her goddamn mind. When Jennifer began to bug her, so far as getting back at her with words, Margaret became jealous and lost her ever given mind. And that's when I was like, abort, 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 abort. I was here for you, now I'm not. So, it is what it is. And what it is I am showing you guys her website, her claim to fame, which I am just now, like this was my first time looking at it. Okay. Um you know what, for some reason I thought she was more luxurious. I am just keeping it 100% real. I thought this lady was like luxurious. Whatever in my mind I thought luxurious to be. And I'm not dissing any of this. The only disses I have, if to be counted as a diss, is as you can see right now. Like I'm trying to click on the kitchenware. I don't know she had kitchenware, and it just keeps bringing me back to the same thing, which is nowhere. Okay, for the kitchenware, I'd have to. I'm assuming completely go out and type in kitchenware Macbeth. I ain't doing all of that. Okay. I should be able to get there from your website, sweetheart. I can't. Okay, it's cool. Whatever. Then another thing which was played way earlier, but she said Frank Jr. has on her reading specs in pink and she just loves it. So is it okay, so Junior, the way that they put it on the show is Frank Catanya's son. Frank and Dolores' son is Junior, but she has it marketed on her um what is this website that Frank Jr. is Frank, who we know as just regular Frank. Anyway, girl, let's look at these fashions and what happens. What happens when we Google it or put it in any other search engine? What happens? I'll show you. All right, so what we are doing here is I'm going to show you guys what happens when I actually type in Macbeth Collection by Margaret Josephs. Okay, and this is on different search engines, but ultimately, although it was different search engines, they all came back with kind of the same result. And the reason why I say kind of is because it was the same, except it wasn't. Dun dun dun. Okay. So, what you're looking at is what happens when I don't remember which search engine this one was, but it's overwhelmingly showing us ThreadUp. ThreadUp is like a thrift store or like a trade-in shop. I don't know if they actually have an official name, but they're co-signing. That's what it's called, I think. Co-signment. When you can bring in items, clothing items. It could be purses, it could be shoes, it could be, dresses, whatever. And you kind of like you sell it to them. They give you a certain amount or whatever, and then they turn around and sell it. And so what had happened was, no matter where I put in Macbeth Collection, it was an overwhelming amount of what seemed like to me kind of consignment shops, or shops like eBay came up. And so that was interesting to me because I expected for the first thing to come up and be, prevalent would be where you could buy her stuff at. Which, I mean, I guess technically this is where you can buy her stuff at. But out of this entire time that I've done Tarot Spills the Tea, and I've made, I think, approximately 200 videos by now. This is the very first person who I've researched who have come up in my research with an alarming amount of simply where you can rebuy used items. Used items come up first. Used items. Not her website, not, what store you could buy it in, like what official store you could buy it in, but just used, 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 and more used. Now, I'm not saying anything good or bad about that, okay? What I'm saying specifically is what I said specifically, which is this is the first time that this has ever happened where it's such an overwhelming amount of just, you can get it used right here. No, you can get it used right here. Or you can get it used right here. No, you can get it used right here. Okay, you guys. So here's just a little, just a little tiny bit of what I would like to call a messy moment. Maybe, I don't know, but check this out. So I went on Marge's Instagram in order to capture some pictures with both her and Dolores, right? So the very first thing that I saw, and it ain't my fault because it ain't my Instagram, but the very first thing that I saw was Margaret giving a shout out to Dolores for referring her to the plastic surgeon who fixed her neck or whatever. And then right next to it was Dolores thanking that surgeon for fixing her neck. And you know what? I never really thought a lot about necks until everybody started talking about, Giselle's neck from Potomac. And I was like, dang, some necks do need work, And then this season, looking at Margaret's neck. Okay, actually chin. No, in this picture, I think they taking care of the chin, because I was gonna say her neck. If this is a good neck, honey, that rubbery neck she got going on, I was gonna say she need her money back. But no, it's about the chin, I believe. Yeah, that extra skin under the chin or whatever. And he probably did help her neck, but I mean, damn, ooh. Honey, if I see what it looked like before, I probably have real nightmares for real, living in my head rent free of her rubbery neck. But anyway, so shouts out to that surgeon. Shouts out to that surgeon. Okay, hey, whatever amount they paid, it was worth it. But Margaret still needs some help with it. Or is it that he pulled it too tight? Maybe he pulled it too tight, because when she gets upset, I can see every vein she ever had since she was born in that neck. Maybe he pulled it too tight. Maybe it need to be a little bit looser, because I be worried that one of them are gonna pop. So yeah, okay, so he pulled it too tight around her neck. Okay. Anyway, but shouts out to that plastic surgeon. Okay, he does a good job, and maybe too good sometimes. But continuing on to the reason why I was looking for a picture for both of them. Okay, so a part of my research, I stumbled across a podcast called We Should Talk, and it was with who? Both Dolores and Margaret. Now let me say this, okay? Because first of all, I did leave a message on there. Not a message. What do you call a comment? I did leave a comment on there. And I'll talk about that in the end. There's a couple of bits and pieces that I would like to share with you guys. And here's my thing. Okay, this podcast, looking at all the rest of them, they're all singles, just a solo person by themselves. This one has two, and he, even in the beginning, he says how rare it is if it's ever happened before, which I didn't see it ever happen before, but it is what it is. And it happens to be Dolores and Margaret. Now, this is tied back to some of my reviews that I do on my other channel, which is Indigo Sage, and I do the New Jersey reviews, which you don't have to tell me. I know I'm behind, but I think I might just combine the latest two. Anyway, back to this. The tarot spills the tea over, okay? Tarot spills the tea over here. Now, what I was saying in the reviews was that I noticed, and what I had been pointing out, is that Margaret keeps pulling Dolores into her stuff. She keeps pulling her in, and it seems like they've become good friends. And what I proposed as a question was, when did that happen? What I was saying in some of my previous reviews and stuff was that I feel like Margaret is upset by the fact that it appears that Dolores is downplaying a bit their closeness, at least for right now. Maybe later in the season, she's going to come out and say how close they actually are. And I'm talking about Dolores, because Margaret is wanting that right now. Okay, she wants everybody to know her and Dolores, they practically that's her sister from another mother. Okay, so In this clip that you're going to hear, the host had asked both of them how did they come to become so close. All right, asked both of them.
Dolores and I are very both mature women, and we have a very similar perspective on life, and I think that's why we get along so well. And we could see past a lot of nonsense, and we're not going to let anybody interfere. We have a lot of similar views on many things. I
love it.
Okay, and as short as this clip is, it is just Margaret again cementing the reason why they're friends.
Great, I love her. I know I could call her any time of the day and she'll listen. And she's just an all around just wonderful person.
Now, here is where Dolores gets to speak. Okay, here's where Margaret allows Dolores to speak. And we all know Dolores is about loyalty. So here's what she had to say about their friendship.
We weren't really friends. It was like a kind of time during the Siggy thing, and I always say this. And she called me to give me the heads up that someone was being disloyal to me. That had nothing to do with the show, but she had heard through the grapevine that somebody was something to me. And I never forgot it. And I was like, wow, she just went out of her way to call me and tell me something about someone. She goes, listen, we're not friends, but you should know this because this is wrong. Margaret will step up when somebody's doing the wrong thing. And I will tell you this. I had friends that are closer to me that knew it that didn't tell me.
Okay, so my commentary about this upcoming clip is going to happen after the clip. I want you guys to listen to it. What it is the host is asking these two ladies about how they feel about what Teresa said when she was on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip.
And one thing that she said on the show that I'm just wondering what your kind of response to it is that like that was the first time that she has ever enjoyed filming a show, is what she said, and that she actually had fun. And I'm curious what you guys think as her longtime co-stars and cast members and friends of like her kind of having that different experience on that show.
She's always said that. Always. She's always said that she didn't enjoy it. Yeah, that's for her. I didn't watch it, so Margaret can.
You know what? Yeah. I think that show was a lot more about fun.
Right.
She's not bonded with those women the way she is with us. The relationships aren't as personal. So of course it was surface bullshit. So of course
that's easy to do. I'll fight with somebody.
It's easy to do.
That's fun.
It's easy. It's more surface to the fact is just like you're just getting to know everybody. It's not going to be. It's 8 days away. It's not these lifelong relationships where it really hurts and it's really fun. So of course it's painful. It's painful for her to film this show because it's her family, it's her lifelong friends, it's relationships that really mean something.
Let me tell y'all something. Margaret makes me want to say, lady, what the fuck is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? She just now said that of course they had fun because unlike their cast, she hasn't bonded with them. It's not her family. Of course it's gonna hurt and you're gonna feel pain. Of course. What the fuck is wrong with you? See, here's the thing, and here's why I'm saying that, because normally I don't cuss. But here's why I'm saying that. Let me tell you guys why I'm saying that. Is because our shows, and I know she wasn't on there for season 1. Now that's what I do know. Margaret was not on New Jersey season 1, so maybe she don't know how they started out, but the Real Housewives period started out as lighthearted fun. They did. And so far as having to have the show hurt somebody and having to have that person feel pain, that was not a part of the programming. That was not a part of the programming, baby. We saw them shopping and living it up nice. Okay. Now, all I can see in these most recent, let me put it like this. This season, you, Margaret, are bringing the pain. You are. You're bringing the hurt and the pain. And what's so crazy about it is because it's all because of you. Let me break this all the way down. See, you don't like Teresa because, okay, Teresa was caught telling Danielle to pull it, do it, whatever, with your ponytail. But you poured a whole Niagara Falls on that lady. So I'm not justifying what Teresa did, don't get me wrong, but in life and as a grown up, you've got to understand there's consequences to every action. Okay, that was a consequence. I ain't talking about whether I agree with that consequence or not. I'm just saying there's a consequence to the things that you do. All right. Now, apparently, you, Margaret, seem to not understand consequences. And that befuddles me because I thought you were smart, and this season you're proving not to be. You're just proving not to be. Now, that's Teresa. On to Jennifer. You mess with her, she mess with you. You talk shit to her, she talks shit to you. Now, here's where I don't understand where you got so butthurt at. Is because you openly talk about your infidelity. Why is it a problem if someone says to your face they don't like that, they don't appreciate it? You decide, oh, I'm gonna attack you because you don't like me being a slut whore. Okay, and actually, I just want to say that instead of me saying slut walk, let me rephrase it and say home wrecker. Home wrecker. Okay, home wrecker is what I am talking about. And while I'm talking about home wrecker, now her two buddies, Jackie and Melissa, do they agree with Margaret being a homewrecker and being proud of it? Do they agree? I'd say no. I'd say no. As much as Melissa has told us that she's so jealous of a Joey slash Jenny, you know, because when he get to gossiping, he's Jenny. But she's so jealous over him that he can't even look at nobody else. I'm sure she doesn't agree with Margaret's home wrecker ways. Jackie, bless her palpitating heart, okay, she don't agree with home wrecking that she was sent into a tailspin and didn't eat because of the implication that her home may be wrecked because of the implication that Evan might have been cheating. So her mind and body and soul was all twisted because of the implication of a home wrecker. So we can deduce that neither one of them agree with Margaret's home wrecking ways. So why are they on her side so much when it comes to Jennifer? All I can say is all three of these women are jealous of Jennifer. Drop down in them comments if you disagree or if you have a different point of view. Please do. We're not going to argue because we don't argue here on my channel. We discuss. Okay. So let's discuss it in the comments because I think it's just a I hate Jennifer club because you can't convince me that Melissa and Jackie agree with Margaret's home wrecker ways. And the reason why that's being talked about right now, the reason why I'm bringing it up right now is because that's what, she's getting into it with Jennifer. She didn't appreciate how Jennifer spoke up against her homewrecker ways. I think that's weird that that's the reason why you're upset when you are the one that wrote the book on being a homewrecker, literally and figuratively. But yeah, you did that. What you upset with her for? But what about them kids? Let's get into the kids. Your children was even embarrassed. Now, are you attacking them? Bitch, you're not. So let's get into that. How about that?
My kids have nothing to do with me. I'm not a good mother. I choose not to put my kids on there. My son is here all the time. Dolores knows it because I keep my children private. People don't see me as a mother. So they always think that I can't comment on motherhood. I can't about kids. And my kids are my entire life. And my son's, my biological son is the youngest one. So he's here all the time. It's my entire life. So I'm very much a mother and people don't see that. And that drives me absolutely crazy because they're like, your kids have nothing to do this, that. I was like, you have no idea. And that's what, but that I choose to keep private.
So real quick, I wanted to say the article in the yellow highlight is Margaret being quoted a few years ago about her stepchildren and how they do not speak to her. The article in the Black and White is one about a year and a half ago about how her biological son did not speak to her because she tore the family apart. The children, both biological, non-biological, she admits plenty of times they did not speak to her because they feel like she tore the family apart and they just didn't appreciate it and didn't like it. And because of that, for approximately 6 years or so, they did not speak to her. They've been married for approximately 8 years, her and Joe Benigno, which means that just recently, the last year or so, she started to speak to them. And in other interviews, I've heard her say it's been a slow process. Okay, now that makes sense because when she told Jennifer, when Jennifer said that she was concerned about how it would affect her children, the dad having the affair, Margaret's response was, they'll go to therapy and they'll get over it. Now, here's the thing. Because I instantly I was wondering, how in the heck would you know? Because your kids don't talk to you. So how do you know? But now finding out during this research that her children have finally decided to talk to her. That's where she got that from. And to me, it's jacked up that that's how she sums it up. That your children will go to therapy and they'll get over it. Wow. She doesn't even sound thankful that her children are now talking to her. Like, that's how she refers to this time, is that they'll go to therapy and they'll get over it. Wow. I would start not I would start back not talking to your ass if I heard you sum it up like that. If that's your takeaway from this, all of this, is that I'll go to therapy and I'll just get over it? Girl, I would not like to hear my mom sum up that like that. It just says a lot about who she actually really is, the person that she is. She is as cold as ice. For your children not to talk to you for that long, 6 years plus, okay? And they finally do start talking back to you, and you sum it up on TV, talking about they'll go to therapy and they'll get over it. Damn, girl, as cold as ice is what she is. Okay, and what you're looking at right now at the top of it is Margaret wishing Dolores a happy birthday. And at the bottom is my comment on this podcast, to which I say, this interview just confirms how controlling Margaret truly is. Does she have a chill mode at all? Margaret needs to balance her divine feminine and divine masculine energy. The masculine is controlling too much of her energy, and it truly, truly is. And that's the best way I can sum her up right now. Okay, you guys, so let me tell you what you are looking at. Okay, me with my silly self, in order to really capture the essence of Margaret Joseph, what I decided to do was put her cards on top of her items, her patterns, all right? And so that's what you're going to see them lay atop of. So if it looks strange or weird, hey, that's her. That's her stuff. All right, let's go. So here's the thing. Before we begin to sage this all the way out, let me tell any newcomers, first of all, welcome, welcome, okay? And the way it is, it's 5 cards. It's a 5-card spread that I've come up with a bonus card at the very end. So we begin with the past, all right? And then it's the present, then the best, the worst, what's to come, and then the bonus. When I get to the bonus, I will explain the bonus. So let me tell you guys the question that I asked Spirit about Margaret was, why is Margaret so determined to target Teresa? Okay, what all factors went into Margaret deciding this season I'ma open with Teresa and Louis as a target. And I say Teresa because even though it appears that she's going after Louis, Louis is Teresa's fiance and Teresa's in love with him. So if Louis, let me honestly, if Louis was not with Teresa, he wouldn't be on Margaret's brain, okay? Because Teresa and Jennifer live in Margaret's mind rent free. All right. So let's get it started. So we come out with reversed Knight of Swords. Reversed Knight of Swords representing the past. Now, the past card position is very important because this is something that she thought heavily about as she made the decision in the present. Okay. So, Knight of Swords. Swords represent words. This suit represents words, intelligence, cutting through BS. All right. The Knight in the reverse, in the past position, says that there was a past argument that has brought her to this current state of mind. All right. Now, in the royalty, because the cards represent royalty, a kingdom. So this is the Knight. So the four positions that represent royalty in the kingdom and everything is the king, the queen, the knight, and the page. They represent 99% of the time, they represent people, whether it's the actual querent or the other person. That's 99% of the time. Now, the Knight of Swords, so far as the royals, is the only one that shows his sword. Okay, you see in the imagery, and I go on imagery, okay, and I'm saying a lot, I'm explaining a lot because I know that I have some newcomers. Okay, so bear with me, those of you who've been with me and you already know, that's cool. Okay, just keep it cute in the comments. Don't get down there and tell me you ain't gotta say all of this what we already know. Chill out, y'all. Sages, be sage on this. All right, so anyway, I go by imagery a lot. Imagery means a lot when it comes to tarot. And so this is the only royal of this suit who shows their sword up in the air, okay? Which represents fearless action, all right? He's showing you what he about to do. He's showing you what he got. He's coming in fearlessly, like we about to do this. However, with it being reversed, this means fearless action without wisdom behind it. All right, that is not a good combination if you ask me. Fearless action without wisdom. But we see here that there's a past argument that has brought her to this current state of mind. All right. Now I wonder, was that the pulling of the ponytail? I don't know. I don't know. But let's continue. In the present, we have the world. All right. And the world showed up in the reverse. What that means, so in the present position, this is what she was thinking, how she was feeling when she came to the conclusion to go ahead and target Teresa. Now, the reversed world, and this is a major arcana. She had more major arcanas than most. All right, which tells us that this is a major decision for her. All right, so she recognized that targeting Teresa was a big deal. This wasn't small. Okay, I mean, it's represented by the world. Okay, the world in reverse. This represents missing the final pieces that would make you truly feel fulfilled. She's lacking closure. She feels like she's lacking closure. So the final pieces, it basically makes me feel like, we already see that she was thinking about a past argument that was like big to her, a past argument. And basically this one says she needs closure on it. So I think it's a tit for tat is how I'm feeling. All right, that's how I'm feeling that it's going down. Teresa did something for her that probably was like majorly embarrassing, which Teresa didn't actually do it. If we are talking about that hair pull, Teresa didn't do it. But Teresa was recorded and caught. This ain't funny. Teresa was recorded and caught on camera. Okay, telling Danielle, go do it, pull it. Okay, and Danielle is no longer on the show, so she can't actually get Danielle in like a hugely embarrassing way, because I'm thinking Margaret felt embarrassed. That's what I think. Well, shit, her ponytail was in there good because she tells everybody like she adds hair. We know that. And that ponytail didn't come off. So, I mean, not to say, you know what, that's gonna sound like I'm endorsing it. I am not. I do not endorse violence at all. So let me make myself very clear. I'm just saying whoever did her hair did a good job, because that ponytail did not go anywhere. Okay. Um. Anyway, so she's wanting closure on it, which I feel like she's wanting to embarrass Teresa in a huge way, because she feels like Teresa had a hand in embarrassing her in a huge way, and she did. She did, and that was very wrong. It was very, very wrong. And Teresa knew it was wrong, which is why when Danielle told Melissa, and Melissa took it back to the group, that Danielle said that you told her to pull her hair, Teresa looked at production and was like, they're not gonna play that, are they? And when Melissa said, well, of course, sure they are, Teresa threw a cup filled with God knows what and took off. She was pissed. She was very pissed. But my thing is, why'd you do it? If you have enough sense to be upset or embarrassed that you're now caught inciting violence, then that means you knew better. You know that that's wrong. If you know that's wrong, Teresa, why in the heck did you do it, girl? Well, I don't understand people who just be doing messed up stuff and then be mad that they caught. Like, you know you have the opportunity or the choice not to do the messed up stuff, right? Like, that's what would have prevented all of this. But anyway, so because of that messed up, thing that Teresa did, we have Margaret going after the only thing that she really can right now, which is that has to do with Teresa, which is Louis. And she's being merciless. She's mercilessly going after Louis. Let's continue. Next, we have Best. In the best position is, hey now, upright. We have upright Temperance. Now, here's another major arcana. And when the best position comes up, what it means is what this person believes the best outcome of their decision would be. It's represented by Temperance, which is the integration of opposite forces. In actuality, here is the opportunity for the perfect union. However, it requires healing. In order to reach healing in the situation, it needs to be balanced thoughts and balanced emotions that needs to be had by Margaret, okay? So what it's talking about by saying this is the time and the best time for the integration of opposite forces. Okay, so Teresa, like her or not, she is a force to be reckoned with, okay? A lot of people, if you ask them, they'll say she runs this show. This is the Teresa show. A lot of people feel like that, okay? And I cannot confirm or deny that this is the Teresa show. Real Housewives of the New Jersey, okay? Now, Margaret Josephs, she's a force to be reckoned with also. I won't deny that. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because she will doggedly go after something. Like Dolores says, dog with a bone, dog with a bone. She won't stop. That's her force. She's determined and she won't stop. So, and I don't know how far she'll go to get to reach her goal, but I see her determination is something that's off the charts. She has her husband Joe, which I call Joanna, in line this season. He is in line this season. I bet when they at home he salutes her, because she is the sergeant general in charge of that house. She got more masculinity in her than he does. Okay, I call it like I see it. I ain't dissing nobody, okay? Because as I've said before, each and every one of us, all beings on earth, has both divine feminine energy and divine masculine energy. And the healthy portion of the energy is when it's balanced. When your energies are not balanced, then that's unhealthy energy. That's low vibrational energy. Okay. I personally do not feel like Margaret's energy is balanced. I don't. I really, really don't. Anyway, this reading ain't about her energy. I mean, it is, but it ain't. Okay, so the best outcome that Margaret sees from her targeting Teresa, I think she wants to pull Teresa down a few pegs while pulling herself up, okay, to where they're equal. She doesn't see them as being equal on the show. And maybe it's because Spirit is telling me she didn't see Teresa like be punished, like repercussion or whatever from telling homegirl to pull the ponytail. Now, Margaret has been interviewed after that and said that she forgave Teresa. I think she said she forgave Teresa at the reunion. But words are one thing, actions are another. Okay, with Margaret's actions, we can clearly see I don't believe that she forgave Teresa. Okay, drop down in the comments and let me know if you guys feel like she forgave Teresa. Now, don't you dare click off because this is not the end. The worst is coming up. But first, I must ask you guys to please click like and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't hesitate to ring the bell so that you are notified when I come out with these Tarot Spills the Tea readings. Okay. Worst. In the worst position is reversed Ace of Pentacles. Okay, what do I always tell you guys? The Pentacles is the coint. The coint is what? The money, honey. Okay, so Ace of Pentacles reverse. Yeah, I can see how that would be the worst if your Pentacles was reversed. So basically, I am gonna read my summary. But if she was kicked off the show, if her harassing Teresa, targeting Teresa and Louis caused her money to be funny. All right. So the worst. It says invested in the wrong storyline. In the upright, it means the beginning of success. So in reverse, it's opposite. Okay, get into it. And yes, that would be the worst. That would be the worst for anybody. What's to come? What's to come, baby? Is represented by the Emperor. All right, none other than the Emperor. Margaret. It's all about control. A strategic thinker who sets out plans that he must see through. This is a very masculine card. This is the most masculine card in the entire deck. The Emperor represents the essence of masculinity, okay? This is the most masculine card in the deck because it carries the most masculine characteristic, all right? And it's so funny because if you were to look it up, it's gonna tell you that this represents a man. This represents Margaret, and I'm not saying Margaret is a man. I just got done telling you guys that her masculine energy is not balanced with her feminine energy. But anyway, this card relates to the present card, the card that was in the present, which is the world. And the card in the present was saying that the final pieces were missing that would make her feel fulfilled. Okay, so this card is saying that she needs to see the plans that she has set out. She needs to see them come to fruition. All right, so it's basically kind of saying the same thing. She feels like they have unfinished business. That's what Spirit said, unfinished business. Let's keep going and get to the bonus card. Now, this bonus card is a bonus because this is the energy influence. Now, some tarot readers will tell you the energy, some won't. I do because I feel like we've got to talk about and discuss the energy. The energy represents the roots of the situation. So if you were to see this whole situation like a tree, you've got to have good roots, or you got to have root to the tree before there's before the branches come, before the trunk is made, before the fruit, before the flowers, before all of that. It starts with the root, all right? So that's how you are to look at the energy influence, because this is what influenced all the rest of the cards that we just talked about. This was reversed. 7 of Cups. Creating clear career vision, okay? Assessing her position to more proactive actively make progress in her career. So this is a career decision that she's making, which is why I was feeling like she either wants Teresa's position, when we think of New Jersey housewives, we think of Teresa. And like I said, some people have called it the Teresa Show. Some people have called it the Teresa Show. I think she wants those same people to now call it the Margaret Show. Is she doing a good job? I don't know, because I'm gonna tell you from Indigo, just as a viewer, yeah, I do think about Margaret now this season when I think about New Jersey Housewives. When I hear RHONJ, when I type RHONJ, I do think about Margaret. However, it's not flattering. So I don't know if that. I mean, I'm like, is that what you wanted, Margaret? Because I can't. It's hard for me to think of anything good about you now. When I used to like you, I used to like Margaret, but now I'm like, Margaret, can't you just, just a little bit of this? Do you, to me, it's almost like she has a salt shaker and she done unscrewed the top and just poured all her saltiness out on it. Can't you just sprinkle a little saltiness here and there? You're going to ruin the whole meal doing that. Girl, just a little bit of salt. Not the whole jar. What's wrong with you? Anyway, so that's her energy. She is career oriented as she targets Teresa. Okay, you guys, as I do from time to time, I provide a poem or a quote or something that can sum up what we just experienced. And in this case, it's a quote, and it says, "In this world, there is no force equal to the strength of a woman determined to rise." Okay. Okay. In this world, there is no force equal to the strength of a woman determined to rise. This reminded me of Margaret because she is a woman. I believe she is a woman who is determined to rise. However, what's getting in her way is the imbalance of her feminine and masculine. And that's speaking from a spirituality, opinion, all right? Non-spiritual opinion, she's too aggressive and too eager to try to take down Teresa or try to make it even, to where that aggressiveness, that rush, and that yearning makes the intentions off, which will make her unsuccessful. All right. And that is Indigo's opinion. It's going to make her unsuccessful in that endeavor for Teresa. Using Teresa as a target, she's going to be unsuccessful. I think she's going to mess her own self up. Okay. Because as we already know, in real time, they're already planning their wedding. So she didn't break them up. So anyway, be sure to drop down in those comments and let me know how you feel, what you think about what you just heard. And be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for future notifications. Okay, thank you. And be safe. Wash your hands. That's the least you can do. Please wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands when you go out and when you come back. Wash your hands. All right. Love you guys. Bye.